Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 67 of the Drop It podcast. Summer's right around the corner, and what that means is it's time to get that summer body. 2025 really is the year, and the way to do it is to join the Drop It podcast 8-pack ab summer body challenge. For a one-time payment of $1,497 US. I will give you a custom meal plan. It is the same custom meal plan that I give to every single other person. We will have weekly accountability, and on the weeks where you do not hit your weight loss goal, I will ask you this question: did you stick to your custom meal plan? If the answer is no, which it probably is going to be, then I'm going to respond with, that's okay. Let's do better at sticking to our custom meal plan next week. And that is really all that you're going to get. This really is the year where we all try to get our summer bodies and then quit and then gain the weight back again, the same way that we had the last 5, 10, 20, 30, or 50 years. And me, as the person that is coaching you through this, was never actually even fat, but enjoy your custom meal plan. Been there, done that. This podcast is special made for people that have been there, done that with the quick fixes. This is not the Get Your Summer Body podcast. This is the Change Your Fucking Life podcast. This is the Change Your Life Through Food. This is the Claim the Lifestyle That You Deserve podcast. So if you're sick of the quick fixes, welcome. If it's your first time here, my name is Nick Geoppo. I lost and gained back 50 plus pounds every year from 2013 to 2019 on every bullshit thing like what you just heard me say, and keto and all the other low carb intermittent fasting shit that you've all tried too, that we all actually inherently know we can't do forever. In 2019, I built what I call the common sense diet system. I took back control of my life through food. I changed my baseline habits, and I changed my mindset. I lost 110 pounds. It's been 6 years, and it takes me no discipline to keep the weight off because I actually changed my baseline habits. If you're ready to put obesity behind you for good, you can work with me, join our group, or consider working with me one-on-one if it makes sense by filling out the link in the description of this podcast episode and speaking with me directly. Whether you do that or not, you're going to find this podcast extremely, extremely helpful, especially this episode, because this episode is all about building a framework around understanding what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating. So the question of this podcast episode is it common sense diet approved? Now, at this point, if you're a regular listener, you understand what the common sense diet is. This is going to be reinforcing the mindset of, is it common sense diet approved? So is this a common sense diet food or not? And I'm walking you through this flow chart. Might sound a little bit confusing at first. The intention isn't that you go to eat and you pull out a fucking flow chart and ask yourself a variety of questions. It's just that you build a framework where this becomes common sense over time. So this might not feel like common sense, but as you practice this and build this muscle, this will become common sense. And this is how you build the healthy relationship with food that you actually need. So if you don't have a healthy relationship with food, and if you don't know what that means, let me walk you through this. If any of these are true for you, then you do not have the healthy relationship with food that you can have and that you deserve to have and that you ultimately need to stop thinking about food and obsessing about weight loss all the time and actually keep it off. So if any of these are true, then keep listening to this podcast. If these are not true for you, then it would make sense to not listen to this podcast episode specifically, and we'll see you on episode 68. Number 1 is I think about food all the time. Number 2 is I think about losing weight all the time. Number 3 is I fantasize about how different my life would be if I wasn't fat. Number 4 is I feel like I don't have what it takes. Number 5 is I crave foods regularly. Number 6 is I feel like food has a pull on me or controls me. Number 7 is I sometimes feel like shit after I eat. Number 8 is I cope with food. Number 9, I'm addicted to food. If any one of these are true, then there's work to do, and you'll need to do this work if you want to actually put obesity behind you and cut down on the food noise. So that's everyone listening to this, right? I know that, and I've been there, and that's okay. Here's the questions. When you go to eat, I'm going to walk you through the chart first, and then I'm going to explain each one of these. So imagine you're going to eat a piece of food, or consider, does this food make sense for the journey that I'm going on? Here's the questions to ask yourself. Is it one of my go-to meals? We're going to talk about this. If it is, then it's common sense diet approved. If not, is it made of mostly whole, real, or natural foods? If it is, then it is common sense diet approved. If it's not, are you celebrating a special occasion? If it is, then it is common sense diet approved. If it's not, is everyone else eating the food? If it is, then it's common sense diet approved. If it's not, are you craving the food? If yes, I'm going to walk you through how to work through that craving. If not, opt for a different food. Now that's a whole flow chart, right? And again, the idea isn't that you pull out a flow chart. The idea is that you build a framework of understanding how healthy people actually think about food subconsciously. They've always done it, so it doesn't take them any work. You're trying to work into having a healthy relationship, a non-obsessive relationship with food, not counting calories all the time, the same way that healthy people do. But we don't get to just snap our fingers and do that because you and I have been doing this our whole fucking life. So here's the work. This literally is the work. It is what the work is. The difference between the people that lose weight and keep it off and the people that sign up for summer bod programs to try to look good by July or their wedding and then quitting is that they're willing to actually sit down and spend 10 minutes understanding this chart and understanding this way of thinking, because this is how healthy people think. It's so natural for them that they don't even realize they're thinking about these things. It's just automatic. It's not automatic for us. It's manual. It becomes automatic, and it is automatic for me now. But the reason it's automatic is because I wrote all these things down and then held myself accountable to practicing them, which is now what I'm coaching. So let's walk through this one at a time. So you're considering eating food, or there's a certain food, you're in a certain food situation. You're out at a restaurant, you're at home, whatever. Number one, is it one of your go-to meals? Now, if you're new here, you don't know what a go-to meal is. A go-to meal means that it's something that you're eating regularly, that takes less than 10 minutes to make, that you like the taste of, that is made of mostly whole and natural foods, and that fits inside of your calorie goal already. So healthy people you actually have go-to meals right now. They just might not be healthy ones, meaning that I eat pizza a couple times a week. Yeah, I eat Ben & Jerry's at home three nights a week. Or yes, I bring a turkey sandwich to work every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Those are go-to meals. They're things you're repetitively eating, right? I'm not going to walk you through the full process of how to build one. If you don't have go-to meals, go listen to episode 60 of the podcast. It walks you through step by step. But the concept overarchingly is that you know what's in the foods you're eating most regularly, and you have 2 to 3 options for each meal so that you don't have to eat the same thing every fucking day, and you never have to count calories again because you've measured it one time and you know about how much is in there. So for me, my go-to meals, my 3, eat these meals all the time, and I'm flexible with them. Steal these, please, and make them fit your calorie goal. Never count calories again. Change your life. It takes 10 minutes of work. I wish someone told me. Number 1 is what I call one of my go-to breakfasts. I call bullshit ice cream. It's just Greek yogurt with honey with fruit. I like it because it's super low calorie or high calorie. It's flexible. I can make it in 90 seconds. I can change up the flavor profile by changing up honey for maple syrup for date syrup for agave. I could change yogurt for non-fat Greek yogurt to also changes the flavor. I can change any 25 different fruits I can put in there and have a totally different meal. I could add cinnamons or some different sort of seasonings as well. Think of how that's one of the best, most flexible meals ever. A second one for me, one of my go-to lunches is an adult Lunchable. High protein deli meat, for me, turkey, pre-hard boiled eggs, a cut of cheese or a cheese stick with fruit. The flexibility built in there is incredible. Different cheeses, different high protein meats. The eggs aren't that flexible, but if you don't like eggs, you can do something else. And any of 25 different fruits that I like. A million combinations in there. I can change the calories super easily. I know the way that I eat it works into my calorie goal. Again, I'm not looking to lose weight. So you need to do the math. That's part of what I do with my clients, right? But set yourself up for success with go-to meals. Go-to dinner for me, I eat it all the time, beef stir fry. It's the only thing that I kind of prep. I don't really prep it, but I'll make 2 to 4 servings at a time. The total time to cook is about 13 minutes, give or take. The total time to reheat on the pan is about 3 to 4 minutes. And the way that I do it, I just cook meat and onions in some ghee, butter, or oil a little bit. And I might use frozen veggies, throw them in there, and then I'll microwave rice and throw it all on top of each other, sometimes with a little bit of cheese, depending on what I'm doing that day or what I've eaten. Boom. All whole, real, natural foods. Common sense diet approved. Question number 1, if it's one of your go-to meals, then obviously it's common sense diet approved, right? You can also have go-to meals for eating out, meaning that when I'm out, Chipotle is one of my go-to places. I get this same thing. I know it fits inside of my goals. So you take all the guesswork out of eating with go-to meals, but we don't always have access to our go-to meals. So if the answer is no, it's not one of my go-to meals, then the question becomes, is it made of mostly whole and natural foods? So I'm out at a restaurant that I haven't been to with friends or for an occasion or whatever. I'm out at a restaurant because I'm a fucking human and we're at a restaurant, right? Is it made of mostly whole and natural foods? If yes, then it is common sense diet approved. The key is to practice eating a normal portion size. That's up to discretion. You'll learn normal portion sizes over time, right? But the reason why the next question is it made of mostly whole and natural foods is because common sense, they're better for us. And it's because they don't make you feel like shit after you eat them. Because when you feel like shit after you eat, right? So if you go out to a restaurant and you're like, well, I'm just going to get the fried chicken sandwich, the kids fried chicken. I'm going to go out to a restaurant and get a kids meal fried chicken sandwich with a French fry and ketchup. The menu says it's only 700 calories and I can make that work for today. I got 700 calories to spare. I'll ketchup instead of ranch dressing, and I won't get a milkshake. They'll get a Diet Coke instead. That's a 700 calorie meal potentially. How are you going to feel afterwards? What kind of cravings are you going to have afterwards? How satiated are you really going to be? Are you going to want more? Yes, is the answer to that. For the same amount of calories, you can get a fucking half roasted chicken with broccoli and a half serving of rice. Does it taste as good? Probably not. Yes, your taste buds, your flavor interests change over time. You just become so connected with what food feels like after you eat it that you stop wanting processed foods all the time. But yes, it takes you some discipline to get through that. This is how you get through that, right? Is it made of mostly whole natural foods? If yes, practice eating a normal portion size. If no, then the question becomes, are you celebrating a special occasion? So let's go back to that restaurant example. I'm at this restaurant. I want this chicken sandwich. Am I the fried chicken sandwich with the French fries? Am I celebrating a special occasion? Meaning, is it my birthday? Is it my anniversary? Did I just get a promotion at work? Did my kid just graduate from high school or college? Is it the 4th of July or Christmas? Well, you probably wouldn't be eating chicken sandwich on Christmas. Those are examples of special occasions. A special occasion is not, it's date night with my wife. A special occasion is not, I just felt like shit. I'd feel good if I eat this chicken sandwich because I feel like shit about my life. I just want one. And this is me, who am I to say this, right? I'm talking to my old self, and I hope you find this helpful. This is not necessarily directed at you. It's directed at old me because this is how I used to think. We justify special occasions and justify reasons to eat. If you find yourself justifying a reason to eat a food, then it's not a special occasion. So is it a special occasion? If you have to ask yourself if it is a special occasion, then it is not. Is a really great frame there, right? So if it is a special occasion and that chicken sandwich means something to you, because that's the chicken sandwich, because it's my favorite chicken sandwich, and I love food and I'm a human and food is a part of living and I like chicken sandwiches. Feel that. I feel that too, right? Then yes, it is common sense diet approved. Enjoy your anniversary and eat your fucking chicken sandwich and eat one of them and then return to normal programming the next day. That is common sense diet approved. Practice eating a normal portion size. If no, it's not a special occasion. The question is everyone else eating the food? So now, same scenario, but you're not at a restaurant. You're at a chicken sandwich joint, meaning all they have are chicken sandwiches, and you got invited to go to this chicken sandwich place. There's no other options. All they have are fried chicken sandwiches. Is everyone else eating the food? Then yes, it is common sense diet approved, because if you don't eat the chicken sandwich and you don't go, that's fucking weird. It's weird, and that's you literally being controlled by your diet. There's a time and a place. You have to use discretion. This is the part where we tend to lie to ourselves. You have to get radically honest with yourself. How have I been eating the last couple weeks? Is it okay for me to eat this chicken sandwich because I'm at a chicken sandwich joint with all my coworkers are here for lunch, and I got invited, and I want to be a part of the socialization. I don't want to miss out. Then yes, that is common sense diet approved. Practice eating one chicken sandwich, unless you did the same thing with your coworkers last week and the week before that. So you have to meet yourself with realness and rawness, right? And this is what healthy people actually subconsciously do. It's just automatic. So is everyone else eating the food and there's no other options? Then yes, it is common sense diet approved. Practice eating a normal portion size. If no, the question is, are you craving the food? And this is where things can get a little convoluted, right? Are you craving the food? So are you craving a chicken sandwich? Are you sitting at this restaurant that's got healthy and unhealthy options, sitting there going, man, I want a chicken sandwich. I'm craving it. If yes, you've got to work through that craving. And I know we've talked about this so much on the show, and there's 10 steps to working through a craving that's kind of similar to this flow chart. The expectation is, the reality is that you're not going to pull out the 10 steps to work through a craving, but overarchingly, it's take a breath, find some mindfulness, spend 5 seconds, go to the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror, and ask yourself, why am I craving this food? How am I going to feel after I eat it? Like, get to that level of connection with yourself and with your body. That's a practice. That's me looking back 6 years into practicing this. It's not a practice anymore. It's just what I automatically do. But that took me time. It took me months of really trying and really practicing. And this is more condensed now so that you can move a little quicker than I did, but it might take you that long to develop that awareness and that level of self-awareness when it comes to food in your cravings. So are you craving the food? If yes, work through the craving. Like, give yourself permission to work through the craving. Give yourself permission to connect with how you're going to feel after you eat. If you're not even craving the food, so you're at a restaurant, you've got a lot of options. Should I get the chicken sandwich? No, I'm not craving the food. Then opt for something else. And that's kind of an obvious one, but how many times in your life are you like sitting at home and you're like, or you're driving home from work, you're like, oh, should I get McDonald's? I guess I should. I don't even want it, but I guess I'll get it. Like, you don't even want it. No, don't. It's not common sense diet approved. You're not even craving the fucking food, right? And like, yeah, shit. How many people listening to this right now just went, yeah, that's me. I've done that. I used to do that. I would like eat Dairy Queen on nights I didn't even fucking really want. I'm like, well, what else am I going to eat? I mean, shit. And that comes from a lack of preparation, a lack of having my kitchen filled with common sense shit, a lack of actually understanding what it is that I was working towards and why, and all these things really work together, and we're attacking the whole person, the mind, body, soul, the spirit, right? But if you're not even craving the food, there's no reason to eat bullshit if you don't even want the bullshit. How obvious, but not really. If you don't want the bullshit, don't eat the bullshit. I'm going to walk you through this one more time. And as I walk you through it, practice accepting this as your truth. There is no world to ever eat something that is not common sense diet approved. So you hear people say like, oh, I'm 80-20 healthy, unhealthy. That's fine, whatever. I don't fuck with that obsessiveness and assigning a certain number and, well, I'm 75% healthy this week and this, you just like, no, we're not counting calories. We're not doing the number. 100% of what you eat should be common sense diet approved. And what that actually means is that you eat healthy foods unless there is a fucking reason not to. That's all that really means. And I'm going to take you back through this flow chart and say that in your head. Everything I eat is 100% common sense diet approved, which actually means that I eat healthy foods unless there is a reason to not do it. So what that means is that you eat mindfully and you don't eat like an asshole. You don't eat mindlessly. If you eat like an asshole or asshole food, it's because there's a fucking reason to do it, like an outing or a birthday that is actually meaningful for you. If you adopt that mentality, you will lose weight and keep it off forever. That's actually what most healthy people do. You're never going to find a healthy person just like eating Ben and Jerry's at home at night just because. You're never going to find a healthy person like driving home from work and getting McDonald's just because. They might get McDonald's, an ice cream cone from McDonald's because it's their kid's birthday and they're celebrating it at McDonald's, but they're never just going to get it just because, right? So is it common sense diet approved? Yes, every single thing you eat should be common sense diet approved. And here's how, and that's not obsessive because that's actually flexibility is built into it, as you just heard, right? So question number one, is it one of your comments? Is it one of your go-to meals? If not, is it made of mostly whole and natural foods? If not, are you celebrating a special occasion? If not, is everyone else eating the food? If not, are you craving the food? If not, opt for something else. And that's it. And that's the common sense diet flow chart. This will become automatic for you. I'm going to post a picture of this in the description. It'll be a little easier than me speaking through it, so you can actually take a look. And if you're in a position where you're really, really, really fed the fuck up with food controlling you, strongly consider. I wish somebody told me about this sort of approach to food. Strongly consider adopting this and practicing it. Take a screenshot of this flowchart, put it on your phone, and look at it one time when you're trying to figure out what to eat or if you should eat something. And just follow it one time and watch how logical it is and watch how automatic it is. You'll never have to look at it ever again. Welcome to the Common Sense Diet. If it's your first time on the podcast, welcome to the Drop It Podcast. If you want to work with me to put weight behind you for good, go ahead and click the link in the description. Leave us a rating on Spotify, Apple, or a subscription on YouTube. We just released all of the episodes on YouTube, so not really much of a following over there. And I'm looking forward to engaging with you guys on a new platform. You absolutely have what it takes to lose weight, and you absolutely have what it takes to keep the weight off forever. You also absolutely have what it takes for food to not control your life anymore. And You deserve that. See y'all next week.